So I asked you all to predict what do you think will happen in Piggy Book 2 Chapter 12. And being that we are like hours away from Piggy Book 2 Chapter 12, I'm curious to see if any of you got it right. Tigery says, so I predict something. The true ending will be Willow. The pages will be possible, Dude Man, or Shadow Penny. This is just a prediction. IGI TV says, I think it's going to be called The Facility or Lab. Also, we have infected Willow as a piggy toy. Arthur Shepard says, I reckon it will be named The Lab or Laboratory, mainly due to Kona's lab being named Temple rather than Lab, mainly because that's what Minitoon wants to keep as the name of the final chapter. And obviously, that's what we witnessed the group entering, the lab for the cure. This is great. Gamer for Life says, I feel the maps might be Lab, just because they are creating a cure and stuff such as that would be created in labs. GL Games TV says, I think this is right, that we will get Willow for the true ending. I mean, she's been there since the beginning of book 2 and before, so might not be true, but also I think it might be the pages. I think chapter 12 will be called Lab, or Minitoon might just use Laboratory, but I'm going with Lab. Brixie says, I think chapter 12 will be named Memories. UUQD says, my theory is the map will be called Facility. I'm sure Willow is going to be unlocked with the true ending by touching an item or something like that. I imagine that the skin that you get with the pages could be Temple Roby, or more implausible theory like it is Dude Man. But in my opinion, the skin of the pages will be William. Chicken Pot Pie says, this is what I think might happen. There will be 1 or 2 skins when chapter 12 releases. Then the day after, the lore pages and an extra skin will be out, possibly Willow. And the true ending skin might be either Insolence Penny or Willow. Junction Malfunction Podcast says, it's probably going to be called Lab because it is mentioned in the pages like with book 1. In book 1 chapter 11 in the pages, it mentioned the plant, and now book 2 chapter 11 mentioned lab. But even so, laboratory isn't a word used more than lab. So either those 2 words, but again, lab was mentioned in the pages, so it has to be Lab. Scott says, I also want to play as Dude Man. Maybe that will be a secret skin for the pages. Also, I hope the true ending will be the whole server this time around. Chapter 12 is probably Lab. Lawrence says, also don't forget, there will be a book more than 2 skins coming with chapter 12. I already started farming because it will surely be extremely expensive. We will be getting the bot skin for chapter 12, which will surely be Shadow Penny, the new tenuous flea skin, the serpent skin, also a skin with gradually becomes infected during the game, from what Minitoon said, the Willow skin, possibly the Insolent Overseer, book 1 and book 2 pages secret skin, and possibly Daisy or Sentinel from the Distraction chapter. Yeah, I definitely recommend you start grinding. Oh, and for chapter 12's map name, it's definitely going to be Lab or Laboratory or maybe Facility. Danny says, what if the true ending secret is Dude Man guy? That would be awesome. Charlotte says, theory. I feel like chapter 12 might be a lab because we need to get the cure for Zizzy and maybe even Daisy or William. As I recall, the ending of the heist chapter, William was gone. So it must mean we will be stealing something, which was the pie. William ran out somewhere in the camp, chapter 11. Willow saw what was Daisy infected with the red eyes, and that is my theory on chapter 12 predictions, which is going to be lab. Amen Hassan says, I think the map will be called the Laboratory. Reason? Because most of the leaks look like they're in the lab. And also, the cure is in the map where Shadow Penny is. Coyote the Sandwing says, I am pretty sure that chapter 12 will be Laboratory. I just get the vibes after chapter 11. Doesn't it kinda make sense though? The player and the others are going to a place where the cure is being made. So a lab will be an obvious map. Jake says, I think chapter 12 might be called Target P. Blue Phone says, I highly think that is going to be the true ending, just like you, Big B, and you said in the end of the book series, and I don't think that's why Minitoon would not add Willow. My theory is that the map is the lab or facility. Reason? In all the leaks we have gotten something with Shadow Penny, as in the background was the main menu, and then Minitoon posted the tube of the lab. It makes sense for it to be a lab or facility. Definitely not Percy 6 says, I think Willow will be the page skin and Harold will be the true ending. Bree Godbolt says, it's gonna be the lab. The reason why I know, because in the ending of chapter 11, there was a cure and they were trying to find it. And the pictures show that there's a lab in chapter 12. I hope chapter 12 comes out. Nagla says, I think Willow's skin will either be a page skin or true ending skin. And the map is either called lab, laboratory, bunker, and facility. Francesco says, lab. I think the name of the new chapter is going to be lab because if we're going to find the cure for Zizzy, then the cure would have to be in the lab, right? Blue Hair says, I have 4 names for chapter 12. Number 1, lab. Number 2, the South Lab. Number 3, facility. And number 4, the bunker. I'm not even gonna get it correct, but here's my username. Raj D says, I think Willow will be like Georgie, no skin. But true ending book 2, Shadow Penny, chapter 12, lab. Rob VBVBV says, I think the last chapter will be called Laboratory. Another reason why Temple isn't called Laboratory. ICO Games says, I think Willow is going to be claimable in the true ending. So I think Willow is going to be coming out on the 31st of October. Logan's alt account says, I think you can get Willow skin there by getting the true ending or the end of the pages. No way. Map predictions: laboratory, underground lab, facility, or foundation. Mohammed Valorman says, I feel like the name of the chapter is hallway or lab. Muez says, I just want the TO skin or insolence player because the player is immune to the infection. Baby Fazy YT says, I bet Willow's theme will be the chase music back at the factory. Mr. Mouse says, I think it will be called The End. Egolush says, my prediction on the skins: Cyborg Penny, Snake Skin that Tenuous Flea made, Tio, True Ending skin, Willow, Season 3, Battle Pass skin. Please, I've been waiting for a lab. Claudia Pagan says, I think chapter 12 will be called Lab or Laboratory because from the leak, where's the red ball? Shadow Penny's eye. The thing in the chamber is an experiment or something, and I think that there will be more of them because of many bots. The chamber is in the lab, so that's why chapter 12 is going to be Lab or Laboratory. Diggy says, so I think chapter 12 name is going to be Laboratory. Love you, Big B. Catridy says, you might not know what's coming, but I think the chapter name is going to be Research Facility or Containment. Fernando Gabriel, the chapter has to be like Facility. The bot is like Alphys, but it's going to be Patient. And I think the map is Facility and kind of like Hospital. Ruby Sanha, I think the new chapter, Zizzy is going to be the bot. You give her the potion and there will be different endings. Maybe Tigery and Willow will be the ones to choose. Kimoya says Laboratory because Willow might get infected there. And then we're going to have to choose pretty much between Willow and Zizzy. Jefferson says, I think it will be called either one of these: Lab, Laboratory, Facility, the Finale, the Cure, the Secret, the Solution, the Result, the Last Step, the End of the Line, the Completion. Oh my goodness. Louise says, I think Piggy Book 2 Chapter 12 is going to be Lab, Laboratory. But if I'm right, username Racing Fanbro. Danny CV says, the name Facility or Lab, and possibly Base. Reason? I think the map looks honestly like a lab facility in the leaks, but I would also say it could be called Military Base or Base. But it isn't where the cure is in the first place, besides the fact that the base is in the camp. It would also make sense since we saw the cure in the end of the trailer. I think I understand that, since it's some kind of potion, isn't it? And it would make sense that the map will be called Facility or Lab, and also called Base, because that's where I feel mostly, it's been taking place, even though it could probably be called a lab due to the cure being a potion. But I didn't really see anything related to a lab in the trailer besides the end. But other than that, I really think it's either going to be called Facility, Lab, or possibly Base. Also, a big shout out to Danny for using star code BigB2 and wished much success, so I really appreciate the kind words. Cheryl Sprawls, psh, we might get the Dude Man skin. Noah the Gamer, TO for the true ending. Rushini 1, I think chapter 12 will be named as the Underground Lab or Lab. Krishan Ramos, reason, Facility or Lab, and the reason is all the leaks look like a lab facility where they keep infected and testing to develop a cure. It could be a lab or not because Temple chapter 10 had a lab already, but it was mainly a Temple map. Take note, they were developing a cure and it would make sense to be a lab. Noah Plays Roblox says lab or testing lab or experimental lab. I think Shadow Penny's theme would be called Experimental Expedition. Pup Bro Play says Willow might as well be a skin to find out, just like Laura. Although the true ending is sort of like that, it's just a prediction, but I think it's highly confirmed Willow skin will be existing. Daniel says Curing Zizzy or The Cure. Ania Adams, chapter 12 is going to be called The End. No Pal PR, I think how to get the true ending is you go to factory and get the gun from Willow, go to chapter 12, and maybe it is to get the true ending and get the skin Willow. Roblox Fan says, I think it's going to be called Military Base, but I don't know for some reason. I doubt it. FG Funny 2 says, this is my idea for the name of Piggy Book 2 chapter 12. Underground Lab, Chemistry Laboratory, Theosaurus. Donut Max Gaming says, I think each color in the rooms are our emotions. They reveal the eye colors by how we felt. Foxy and Justin goes on to say, my prediction is maybe the orange circle is to summon Harold, the Eye of Insolence guy, and we accidentally summon him. Jaziel says, my prediction is that maybe in each ending will appear the meaning of an eye color and the characters that are with the eye colors. Timid Tommy goes on to say, I think we will find Zizzy with William. Zizzy will say that she was raising William. We will also get a head attack by Tio. Sandra C says, it's a sad thing that Piggy Book 2 is done, but also hope Intercity will be better. Map idea, Mysterious Base. Tankman says, light the beacon, summon it, was hinting to this the whole time. Theory. Huffy Pup Roblox Piggy goes on and says, I got one more banger theory here. In book 2, chapter 12, believe we will see non-infected soldiers in the ending. The note in book 2, chapter 12 that said everyone is hiding now. Well, an underground lab seems like a good place to hide. I would say we'd meet Daisy, but we know she's infected, sadly. I bet we will meet the military soldiers and they'll tell us what happened to the camp. This is a long shot, but it's really cool if the military had a bigger role in the story instead of always being infected. Canada Kids Ninja says, I think you have to get the cure and choose someone to save. I'm thinking you have to save George, Zizzy, William, and Shadowpenny. Julian says, I think each hallway is a different ending, and for the true ending, we somehow open up the Insolence Eye. Sleepy Fox says, wait, the colors. The lamps on the plant in book 1, they match. Maybe it's part 2 of Plant. Huffy Pup, this was the first theory as well, which they also put in. I think Mr. Stitchy is still there because how would Mr. P end up in camp way out in the North Sea when we stopped him at Plant? Though he did disappear in the true ending of book 1, a part of me thinks he might return, but I am leaning more towards Stitchy. Neon X Gaming says, hey, I have a very, very good prediction. The 4 doors or portals may be related to 4 different endings, and the true ending will happen at the place now. What I mean is the photo you showed will be the place that needs to be unlocked by a special item or something, and then you have to choose the ending, like red door, ending 1, or blue door, ending 2, etc. And true ending will have something to do with the Eye of Insolence. There will be a fight between us and technically Tio, question mark, and if we defeat, question mark, there will be new portal for the true ending. I know this ain't gonna happen, but worth saying. Master Turtle says, I think the bad ending would be we tell the team we need to take the rest, then right when we walk out the door, the bot comes and kills us, like in book 1, chapter 12. Fonzie Game says, I actually think the giant eye place is the second half of the map, like distorted part of Plant, and I think it will probably be called Lab. Danny the Donut says, I think the name will be Headquarters or the Inn. Zebby says, the Lab, I can tell you that's what it is. Phoenix Plays, I think it will be called Research Facility. JBug 2063, chapter 12, Lab. Everybody wanted a lab. This is the last chance. Why not do it here? Also in book 2 trailer, when Shadowpenny showed up, there is literally a potion. Would make a lot of sense to make a potion in the military base if it wasn't a lab. Some random guy underscore O says, I think it's gonna be called underground. Jaren Delon, I think we can go and open up the cure room when we get teleported by Tio in the Eye of Insolence room thingy and we fight him. I then think we make him realize that he's going to mean that the insolent skins will be normal again, and then he will be normal human, and then Mr. Stitchy will go back and beyond with the Sentinels that with the crawling trap and the crawling friend, that they will make more cure potions and then save the world. Then they lived happily ever after. Mahmoud says, my prediction is that the 4 rooms, like the yellow, red, green, blue, are the 4 endings. So I think the red is the bad ending and I think green is the good ending. I don't know about yellow nor blue. That's my predictions. Max the Dog Plays Roblox says, chapter 12 might be named Insolence Lab. Official Rashab, if this contains all eye colors, then I'm sure that this is the distorted part. Deborah Robinson, chapter 12, the Insolence. Adrenaline Generation, chapter 12, name prediction, Hallway Lab. Valid Emperor says, I think the chapter name is Lab or Foundation. Spooky D Go Play, I think the bot has the Insolence eye. Donut Max Gaming with another prediction, Bunker. Blue Fox says, I think it's going to be Testing Grounds or Testing Site. Samantha O'Keefe says, it's going to be called The Lab. Caroline Pauls says, I think we will find Shadow Penny in the cruel room. But that is not. I also think we will find Torturer reveal. Hazim Al-Guberi says, should I just say the chapter name? Never mind. It's Darkness. Anything. Anymore. Darkness, the name. Hugo Roblox says chapter 12, Sanctuary. Roblox Piggy Pro, name of the map, Lab. EA Vlog says, I think it will be called Laboratory. Give me a shout out if I'm right. Chuclan says, Military. Cookie Games has a pretty good prediction here. So I think chapter will be a lab. My prediction is that the distraction chapter, the arm that grabbed Zizzy, was Mr. Stitchy. I think Mr. Stitchy is a good guy. I think he's going to remove Zizzy's scratch and bring her to the lab. But the cure is there. And in the survivor ending, Willow will snitch on us and Zizzy will tell that we didn't save all the TSP members. And the player, we will want to cure Bunny. Georgie will want to cure Penny. Tigray will want to cure Rash, and Willow wants to cure William. So in the survivor ending, Zizzy won't be happy with us. So Zizzy will either cure William or Rash, us the viewers can choose, and in the savior ending, Willow won't snitch on us, and we all save the TSP members, and Zizzy will be happy with us. So she'll cure either Bunny or Penny, again the viewers can choose, and that would create 4 endings. And then there will also be a true ending. Oh, and I love your content. Really appreciate that. Benjamin says, I think Mr. Stitchy is there because we have not seen Mr. Stitchy for a long time. Aesthetic Rose, I think it will be a lab or something. EVP Play says, the chapter will be called Lab. Glitchy Creeper, I think it will be called Facility. Gaming Roblox Player 456 says, Lab, Old Place, Mrs. P's Place, more bonus maps, that ending part of chapter 11, an old apartment, Shadow Penny secret place, a place with no service, because I remember you don't call won't help something like that. Yeah, the secret you're talking about. The temple, but different, or Harold's base. Oh, it's Art says Trapped Lab. What the map says, maybe power plant, like in Jailbreak. Christiana says, my prediction is that your character sees Shadow Penny, then your character will try and see what was behind the door that Shadow Penny leads you to is a trap that teleports you to chapter 12 map. Then the character will try and chase Shadow Penny. Then the map is like 2 different maps, but that place will be on fire and under the other place. Then we have 2 bots. Shadow Penny only chases you if you're inside of the place, and then you're in the room with all the fire, and the snake skin will chase you to the other side. Well, will chase you once your character escapes. Then you are up in the room with the cure, and then you take the cure and you unstuck Tigray and Willow and give the cure to Pony. Then you go back to Refinery to cure Zizzy. Then things work out as planned. Michael Bowles says, I think we're going to get Shadow Penny in chapter 12 for getting the pages. FR says, we're not getting Tio as a skin. And we have now reached the last 100th prediction, and this is by Kenny and says, final update, I thought we were going to fight the Insolence Eye Guy, which we don't know. could still be a boss fight. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to wrap it up for the video. That was 100 predictions for Piggy Book 2 Chapter 12. Again, it's set to coming out very, very soon, so it'll probably be up on the channel as well, so be on the lookout for it. But thank you all so much for tuning in. If you guys did enjoy, feel free to leave a like and share it, and feel free to subscribe for more. We're going to also be looking back at this in reference for the new chapter when it comes out, and I really look forward to it. Also, guys, we're going to be having a lot of fun stuff still coming after Piggy as well, so be on the lookout for it. But much love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!